Welcome to Bry's Comics. In this video, we're going over some of the highlights from the largest slab collection I've ever purchased. 1,300 slabs. This is the second video in the series about this collection. If you haven't seen the first video, I'll put a link down in the description and a link up here on a card so you can go watch that video. So in this video, all we're doing is we're going over these 5 boxes of highlights from the 1,300 slab collection. We've already gone over 3 boxes of the highlights. We've already listed some of those slabs on the website. They're listed for sale now at bryscomics.com. Use code COLLECT10 for 10% off all in-stock items. And we have more videos in store for this collection as well. These books here are part of the set of books that I still need to process and figure out whether or not I made a huge mistake with that. So stay tuned for a future video. And by the time you're watching this video, we will have done at least one Whatnot show for these slabs. So most of these slabs here from the 1,300 slab collection are going straight to Whatnot. There's a lot of good stuff in here as well, and there's a link down in the description for $15 towards your first purchase. If you're new to Whatnot, you can use that link, come by and pick up a free book, because I will have books in the buy it now for 15 bucks. We're having a ton of fun over there. We're doing wheel spin giveaways. We're gonna do tons of slab giveaways in the next show, and the wheel spin. So the way the wheel works is if you win 2 giveaways in the same show, you get to spin a prize wheel, and on the prize wheel is 15 spots, 14 spots for $150 store credit, and 1 spot for Mini Grail, a comic valued usually around $1,000. And in the last show that we did, the wheel spin was hit. It's been hit like 4 times. It happens quite often, so you can come by and pick up some free books, have a lot of fun. And so if you're watching this the day this video comes out, we're gonna have another slab show on Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and another slab show the next Friday. So you can use that link and go bookmark all the shows. We also do a monthly giveaway here on the YouTube channel. If you subscribe, comment, and like, you're entered to win a free slab. And if you head over to bryscomics.com and sign up for the newsletter over there, you're entered to win a free slab each month, except this month we're giving away a 3 slab CGC 9.8 connecting set of Virgin covers by Care Andrews, a really awesome set. And that's where you also get first access to new collections and new inventory as it's listed. Every time I list inventory, I send it out through the newsletter first. Use code COLLECT10. That code is always active for 10% off. So let's flip the camera around and go over these 5 boxes of highlights. Cool to see this book. I've never seen this come through the shop. Creepy #1 from Warren Publishing from 1964 and a 9.0. First appearance of Uncle Creepy, a Jack Davis cover, and this is Frank Frazetta's last full-length comic strip. So that's really cool to see. Yao #1. The reason I pulled this is because it's a double cover. So the way they grade these, if you've never seen that before, is they assign a grade to both covers and put the highest grade on the label. So the first cover is an 8.5 and the interior cover is a 9.0. Therefore, it gets a 9.0 on the label. Savage Sword of Conan #1 and a 9.6. Crazy #1 in a 9.6 with white pages from 1973. This is Lee Wine and Roy Thomas stories. We've got Plug, Bodie, Wolverton, and Trimpe art. I'm curious to know who did the cover art. Leave a note in the comments if you just know off top who did the cover art on this one. Vampirella #112 and a 9.0 white pages. I love any Vampirella cover from the 70s or 80s in high grade. I think is worth admiring. This is a book that one day will find its way back into my personal collection in high grade. It just has a soft spot in my heart. It was one of the first Silver Age keys that I ever purchased. Fantastic Four #36. This is a 7.5 old label. It's the first appearance of the Frightful Four and the first appearance of Medusa. And it actually doesn't say that on this old label here. So this old generation label, this book actually looks like it would be a good CPR candidate. Probably has a shot at an 8.0, 8.5 at the highest. Probably a solid 8.0. But I'm not sure it would be worth it for the price difference. Fantastic Four #18 in a 6.5, the origin and first appearance of the Super Scroll. Fantastic Four number 112, classic John Buscema cover. Fantastic Four number 80 in a 9.4, first appearance of Tomazuma. Man, wouldn't that be nice if we got Tomazuma in a movie and saw this book shoot to the moon and then come right back down. I don't know. Still cool to see a 9.4 Silver Age Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four 78 in a 9.2, 74 in a 7.5, and another 7.5. Fantastic Four Roast number 1 and 9.8 white pages, the world's silliest comic magazine. So I might have to pull one of these for my son because he's always asking me to play the silliest song in the world, and I'm sure he would get a kick out of the silliest comic in the world. Fantastic Four Annual number 6 and an 8.5, Birth of Franklin Richards and the first appearance of Annihilus and an 8.5. I remember selling my 8.5 copy. Man, I think at the time it was going for like 1,800 bucks back at the peak of the market. Here we have Further Adventures of Indiana Jones number 1 and a 9.8 white pages, 2 copies of that. Futurama number 1 from 2000 and a 9.6 with a Matt Groening pinup on the back cover. And this is a newsstand. I'm not sure if they're all newsstand or not. I'll have to put on the screen if they are. That would make it extra special if they're not. So there's the back cover pinup by Matt Groening. First comic book appearance of Futurama, which is really cool to see. Hawkman number 1 in a 7.0, first Hawkman in his own title, and then we also have a 6.5. Interesting to see. He probably just picked up multiples of books he enjoyed when he saw them at a good price. Harley's Little Black Book in a 9.8 from 2016. I just love this cover. I mean, look at the art on this. What's going on there, Harley? What are you doing? Wolverine Limited Series number 4. Here we have a 9.8 white, a 9.6 white, a 9.6 white for issue number 2, the first full appearance of Yukio, a 9.8 of number 2, and a 9.6 white of number 1. So it did have all of these 1, 2, 3, and 4 in 9.6 white pages, and we brought them to the last Whatnot show. Some Silver Age Thor books. We've got Thor 139 in a 9.0, 147, 158, a 9.4 of 189, 190 in a 9.4. Always cool to see Silver Age anything really in high grade. Spectre number 1 in a 7.5. So this is interesting. We have a 7.5 cream to off-white, a 7.0 white, and a 5.5 off-white to white. And it's cool to see, you know, 3 different copies side by side of this book. The one that I would get for my personal collection is the 7.0 white. You can just tell that it presents the best. The colors are incredibly sharp, and when you compare it side by side to others. So just a little tip right there, you know, when you're adding stuff to your collection, it's not all about the grade. I mean, obviously the grade is nice. You do see the number as well when it's sitting there on your wall, but the presentation is also something to take into account, and this white page copy is exceptional, even though it does have a little bit of a miswrap. X-Men number 141 in a 9.4 white pages, first appearance of Rachel, the second Phoenix, Avalanche, Destiny, Pyro, and alternate future X-Men, Mystique, Blob, and Robert Kelly appearance. You all know that classic X-Men key. Silver Surfer number 8 from 1969, first monthly issue, first 15-cent issue, and the first appearance of the Flying Dutchman. Sunfire and Big Hero number 6, first comic book appearance of Big Hero 6. Spider-Woman number 1 in a 9.8 white pages. Detective Comics 27, the Oreo Cookies reprint. So this was a giveaway in packages of Oreo cookies. Detective Comics 377, an exceptional 8.5 white page copy. This is from the John G. Fantuccio collection. So that's why it says it right there. It's apparently, sometimes they'll do, if it's not quite a pedigree, they'll still put like the, you know, exceptional collection person's name there, but it's not necessarily a pedigree copy. There's different requirements to get the actual pedigree label. they have to have usually about 1,000 books, and usually at least 1,000 books, and they have to be purchased off the newsstand by the original collector. So if it doesn't meet those criteria, but it's still an exceptional collection, they'll put the name on it and give it a blue label. So cool to see a Tech 12 center in such beautiful condition. Another Tech 12 center, 8.5, Joker appearance, just a cool Joker cover. Amazing Spider-Man number 4, first full appearance of Cindy Moon as Silk. And Alpha Flight number 1, first appearance of Puck and Marina and so many others, the origin of Alpha Flight. Beware the Creeper number 1. This is the first time I've seen this book come through the shop, and the cool thing about this, from 1968, and it's this Steve Ditko cover and art. It's not something you see every day. I'm glad to have that on my radar now. Venom number 5 at a 9.8 white. This is a cool Clayton Crane incentive variant that I've always loved. Alright, Batman number 186 in a 7.0. Just another cool Joker cover, and it's cool to see this in high grade because the only other time I've had it come through the shop was raw, and it was like a 2.0. So it just feels cool to see it. In my mind, I remember it as a 2.0, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's such high grade. Batman 368 in a 9.8. Jason Todd officially becomes the second Robin. Batman Family number 6. This is from the Rocky Mountain collection. I actually think that this is a pedigree. So this is a pedigree label. It's just this was before they had the black label for pedigree. So Rocky Mountain is an accepted, recognized pedigree. So 9.4 white. This is the first appearance of the Joker's daughter. Then we have X-Men number 94 and an 8.5. The new X-Men Begin, Sunfire leaves. Second appearance of Nightcrawler, Storm, Thunderbird, and Colossus. Tomb of Dracula number 10 and 9.0 white pages is a nice addition to this one. First appearance of Blade the Vampire Slayer. Tales of Asgard number 1 in a 9.0. And X-Men 101 in a 9.6, origin and first appearance of the Phoenix. Iron Man 170 in a 9.6 white, the first full James Rhodes as Iron Man, and Iron Man 118 in a 9.6, the first Rhodey. Showcase 75 and an 8.5 white pages, origin and first appearance of Hawk and Dove. Showcase 73, a nice little run of showcase books here. This is the origin and first full appearance of the Creeper, which we saw earlier, his first solo series. Showcase 60 in an 8.5, this is the first Silver Age appearance of the Spectre. Showcase 55, this is a nice book. I usually don't see it in this high of a grade. This is the first solo Golden Age Green Lantern in the Silver Age, and it's also the first Silver Age appearance of Solomon Grundy, and the origin of Hourman and Dr. Fate in text. Shogun Warriors number 1, we have a 9.8 white and another 9.8 white. Here you can see a slight difference in printing color densities. Very, very ever so slight, but you know, something to look at if you have multiples to choose from. This one has a little bit darker reds than the other one. It's just kind of interesting. Shogun Warriors number 2 in a 9.8. Saban's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 1. So we have 2 copies of that, both 9.8 white. Saga number 1, this is the third print in a 9.8. The first appearance of Marco, Alana, Hazel, and so many others. Sea Devils number 1, so we have a 4.0, a 7.0, and a 7.5. So get your fix of Sea Devil there. Always cool. I always like seeing multiples. Dark Horse presents number 56. This is the episode 7 of Sin City by Frank Miller, and it's got a silver ink cover, which I thought was pretty cool. Dark Horse presents number 36 in a 9.8 white. This is the variant cover, and this is the first appearance of Aliens vs. Predator, and a back cover pinup by Dave Dorman, which has some really cool art on the back. I wish they would have put that on the front. Daring New Adventures of Supergirl number 1, origin retold, and we have a 9.8 white and another 9.8 white. Daredevil 111 in a 9.6 white pages. This is a surprisingly expensive book. First appearance of the Silver Samurai. So we got a 9.6 white and another 9.6 white. Again, here's another example. This might be more that you've got one mid-gen case and a new-gen case, and it does make a difference on the presentation. You could see, like, you know, plastic and inner well over time just starts to yellow. This one's just more clear. And in addition to that, it's hard to say when they're both in the case, so I'm not sure. It seems like this one has, you know, better presentation and colors, but it might just be the case, so it's hard to say. Then we have a 9.4 white of the first Silver Samurai as well. Daredevil number 131. This is the first appearance and origin of Bullseye in an 8.5 white. Daredevil 46, 9.6 white pages. Just really cool to see a 9.6 white Silver Age book for any series, really. Another 9.6 white for Daredevil 45. Another 9.6 off-white to white Daredevil 42, origin and first appearance of the Jester. And a 9.4 Death of Mike Murdock, Daredevil 41. Daredevil 196, 9.8 white pages. I've always loved this Wolverine cover. These are some fun Sonic the Hedgehog books. I pulled one of these. There was 2 copies and I gave one to my son. This is a promotional insert in DC Comics from 1991. So just really cool, little promotional, awesome cover image, and my son absolutely loves it. Spectacular Spider-Man 27. Wow, look at that label, has no names or anything or key significance. I know it's a Frank Miller cover, and a significant book because of that. I'll have to put on the screen what the significance of this is. Sonic the Hedgehog number 1/4. This is the second print. So I've never seen a 1/4 book before, which is kind of interesting. And the other thing that's interesting here is, you know, the way that this book was cut. You could see the serrated edge on the top and the bottom of this book, which obviously is how they were all produced, and so it's not going to affect the grade. Really cool little Sonic the Hedgehog book. Justice League, I'm not sure why I put this one aside, probably just because it's a Michael Turner variant cover. I wanted to look up the value, but there's a couple of those. R.I.P. Michael Turner. Philadelphia number 12 variant cover by Todd McFarlane. This is an absolute must-have for any Todd McFarlane collection. I believe it was just underprinted. I mean, who was ordering Philadelphia number 12? Kind of snuck up on people, but really cool Todd McFarlane cover. Green Lantern 76, Green Lantern Green Arrow stories begin with that classic Neil Adams art in a 9.2. Grendel number 1 from October of 1986 in a 9.6 white. Just cool to see. This is probably printed right around the time of my birth. They usually put the date a couple months ahead, so this says October of 1986 and I was born in September of 1986, so it's possible that this hit the shelves right around the day I was born. Green Lantern 141 in a 9.6 white, first appearance of the Omega Men. Grimm Fairy Tales number 1 in a 9.6. I think this is a pricey book in a 9.8. Probably not cheap in a 9.6 either. Uncanny 266, 9.8 white pages, first full appearance of Gambit. And Ultimate Spider-Man number 1. This is the first Ultimate title in a 9.8 white. Saga of the Swamp Thing number 7. This is just an awesome Bernie Wrightson cover. I mean, what else do you need besides a cool Bernie Wrightson cover in high grade? Super Mario Bros. Number 2 in a 9.6 white. Tales of Suspense 45 in a 7.0. I've always loved this book. Eventually, I will get it in my personal collection in high grade. It's the first appearance of Happy Hogan and Pepper Potts, and then some guy named Jack Frost. But for me, it's Happy Hogan and Pepper Potts. Tales of Suspense number 50 in a 6.5, first appearance of the Mandarin. Tales of the Teen Titans number 44, Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing in the first appearance of Jericho, origin of Deathstroke, 9.8 white. And Invaders number 1 in a 9.6, story continued from that giant size Invaders, which we also had in this collection. They're still fighting those Nazis off on the cover, still an awesome book. Secret 6 number 1 in an 8.5, origin and first appearance of the Secret 6. I am surprised to see this in and 8.5. This just does not seem like the type of book that there's too many in this high of a grade. I'll put up on the screen the census for 8.5s or higher, unless Marcus just cuts that whole part out. Sonic the Hedgehog number 0, 9.6 white pages. Just another awesome Sonic cover. Incredible Hulk 377, 9.6 white. I'm still on the lookout for the yellow background third printing. If anybody has a line on one of those in 9.8, let me know. I saw one just hit eBay, but they have that I don't want to sell it price. They're asking like 15 grand or something. It's not worth that much, but it is a really rare, really cool book. Incredible Hulk 340, 9.2 white pages. Classic Todd McFarlane. Hulk 162 in a 9.4, first appearance of the Wendigo. Hulk 141, 8.5 white pages, origin and first appearance of Doc Samson. Hulk 138, this is from the John G. Fantuccio collection as well. Another one, a 9.0 white, and another one, a 9.0 white. So you can kind of see the condition that he had in his collection. Another 9.0 white. So obviously, a lot of times with pedigree collections, you'll see a lot of white pages because they preserve their books really well. And there's another 9.0 white. I wonder if any of these were pressed and cleaned. I doubt it. Judge Dredd number 1 in 9.6 white. Journey into Mystery 102, first appearance of Balder, Hela, and Sif. Definitely a decent Journey into Mystery key right there, in a 5.5 and another 5.5. Iron Man 282, love this cover, 9.8 white pages, first full appearance of the War Machine. Have one for myself, a newsstand edition in the PC. Iron Man 281, first appearance of War Machine armor and cameo. Strange Tales number 167, classic Jim Steranko cover and art, and it doesn't say it on the label, but it is also the first cover appearance of Valentina. I can't remember her full name. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, something like that. First cover appearance of Val. There she is with those classic Jim Steranko feet, those world-renowned, physically accurate feet that he's well known for. Super Mario Bros. Number 1 in a 9.6 white pages. 2 copies of that. I wonder if either of these are CPR candidate, because that would be such a cool book to own in a 9.8. I'm going to have to take a closer look at those. It looks like they have kind of somewhat of a cardstock cover that would be really difficult to press. Captain America 360 in a 9.6 white, first appearance of Crossbones, and Captain America number 6, 9.8 white pages, first appearance of the Winter Soldier. Metamorpho number 1, 8.0 white pages from 1965. Metal Men number 1, first solo series for Metal Men. I think they first appeared in Showcase. Marvel Premiere number 50, 9.6 white pages. The first Alice Cooper comic book appearance, which is cool. I haven't seen that come through before. Mad number 4 from 1953. Definitely the earliest Mad magazine that I've ever seen in person. Would love to see a number 1 come through someday. DC Comics number 26 in a 9.8 white, first appearance of the New Teen Titans, and the first appearance of Raven, Cyborg, and Starfire. Awesome key right there. Dazzler number 1, 9.8 white. Black Hammer number 1, optioned indie by Jeff Lemire. New Mutants number 100, 9.8 white pages, first appearance of X-Force, and we have 2 copies of that. New Mutants 87, 9.8 white. This is the second printing of the first appearance of Cable, Strife, and the Mutant Liberation Front. And New Mutants number 1, Origin of Karma, and the second appearance of the New Mutants, 9.8 white. And Mr. Natural number 1, Robert Crumb, story, cover, and art, The Origin of Mr. Natural. So there you have it, folks. There's at least one more video to do detailing this collection. There's 370 slabs that were part of the no fair value list, which is going to be an interesting video. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. Don't forget to check out brycecomics.com to see if any of these books we looked at today are still available. You can use code COLLECT10 for 10% off all in-stock items. That code is always active. And of course, follow me me over on Whatnot if you're not already. Link down in the description for $15 towards your first purchase. Come by, pick up a free book. If you're new to Whatnot, I'll have stuff in the Buy It Now for 15 bucks. And we're doing $1 starts, tons of giveaways. Come by and just hang out on a Friday night. You'll have a good time, I hope. If you like comic books and you like, banter and hanging out with a bunch of comic book nerds, it's a great way to spend a Friday night. Thank you as always for sticking with me to the end of the video. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.